November 9th, 2025, 0417 local time, Caribbean Sea, 14 nautical miles northwest of La Guaira, Venezuela. The night was dark, the sea calm, and the USS Gravely was operating exactly where international law said it could be. Then 3 Venezuelan patrol boats decided to test that law with a Chinese-made anti-ship missile. Their miscalculation was immediate. Their consequences were written in fire and smoke across 4 square kilometers of Caribbean water. Because when you fire on an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer equipped with Aegis combat systems, you are not starting a confrontation. You are ending your Navy in under 4 minutes. If you want to see how $42 million in Venezuelan naval hardware learned this lesson the hard way, hit that subscribe button right now. This gets brutal fast. The USS Gravely had been tracking the 3 contacts for 17 minutes. Standard protocol under Operation Sentinel South, the ongoing U.S. counter-narcotics mission that had been embarrassing Caracas for weeks. Just 4 days earlier, Navy helicopters had intercepted 2 speedboats moving weapons toward Curacao. One was sunk after ignoring warnings. Venezuela called it aggression. The Pentagon called it law enforcement. Now Venezuela's Navy was pushing back with 3 Constitucion-class fast attack craft closing at 28 knots. Sierra 123, Sierra 124, and Sierra 125 were running in loose formation from the southwest. On the Gravely's bridge, Captain James Richardson watched the tactical display with the kind of calm that comes from knowing you are sitting inside 5,500 tons of steel designed to win this exact fight. The destroyer's SPY-1D phased array radar tracked every move. The Aegis combat system had already calculated firing solutions for all 3 boats. Just in case, at 0417 and 12 seconds, Sierra 123 fired first. A C-701 anti-ship missile, Chinese-made export model, cost roughly $1.2 million. It launched from the patrol boat's forward deck with a brilliant flash that lit up the pre-dawn darkness. The missile accelerated toward the Gravely at Mach 0.9. Estimated time to impact, 2 minutes 30 seconds. It never got close. The Gravely's Combat Information Center erupted, not with panic, with precision. The SPY-1D radar had detected the launch plume instantly. Surface-to-surface missile inbound, bearing 243, range 9.1 nautical miles. The Aegis system locked on before the first alarm sounded. SM-2 standard missile battery acquired target in 0.7 seconds. Firing solution transmitted in 0.3 seconds. At 0417 and 19 seconds, just 7 seconds after the Venezuelan launch, the Gravely fired back. The SM-2 standard missile streaked skyward at Mach 3.5, trailing white smoke against the black sky. Cost per missile, $2 million. But unlike the Venezuelan weapon, this one hit. The intercept happened at 6,000 meters altitude. The C-701 disintegrated into burning fragments that scattered across 4 square kilometers of ocean. Total flight time of the attacking missile, 11 seconds. Total cost to Venezuela, $1.2 million vaporized into smoke and shrapnel. The Gravely's executive officer keyed the tactical net. Her voice was level, almost bored. All stations weapons free, engage all hostile contacts. This was no longer a patrol, this was combat. The 3 Venezuelan patrol boats split formation immediately. Sierra 123 maintained course. Sierra 124 broke north at 32 knots. Sierra 125 turned hard east, attempting to close distance. Classic harassment doctrine designed for fast boats against merchant ships, except they had miscalculated one critical factor. The USS Gravely was not a merchant ship, it was a warship built to defeat saturation missile attacks from peer adversaries. 3 aluminum patrol boats were not a saturation attack, they were target practice. The 5-inch 62 caliber Mark 45 gun rotated smoothly towards Sierra 123, range 8.6 nautical miles. The gun's fire control radar locked on. At 0418, the Gravely fired 3 rounds in rapid succession. Each 70-pound shell traveled at Mach 2.5. The first round struck Sierra 123 directly amidships. The explosion ripped through the patrol boat's aluminum hull like wet cardboard. The second round hit 3 seconds later, detonating the remaining fuel tanks. 40,000 liters of diesel fuel ignited instantly. The fireball rose 200 meters into the dawn sky. The third round was unnecessary. Sierra 123 was already breaking apart. Time from first shot to complete destruction, 18 seconds. Estimated crew casualties, 17 dead, 4 wounded. The Venezuelan patrol boat had cost roughly $12 million to build. The 3 rounds that destroyed it cost $9,000 total. Sierra 124 attempted to escape north, engines screaming at maximum power, speed climbing to 34 knots. The crew radioed frantically back to Caracas. Contact, under fire, requesting immediate. The transmission cut off mid-sentence. The MH-60R Seahawk, call sign Razor 21, had been orbiting at 3,000 meters. The helicopter's crew received the order immediately. Weapons hot, engage Sierra 124. The Seahawk dove to attack altitude. The AGM-114 Hellfire missile locked onto the fleeing patrol boat's infrared signature. Launch authorization confirmed. Fire. The Hellfire left the rail at 0419. It covered 3.2 kilometers in 14 seconds. The missile's shaped charge warhead hit the patrol boat's engine compartment and detonated with devastating effect. The explosion severed the vessel in half. The bow section continued forward for another 20 meters before capsizing. The stern sank immediately. Survivors in the water, 8 confirmed. Dead, 11. The Hellfire missile cost $170,000. The patrol boat it destroyed was worth $14 million. Sierra 125 made the worst decision of the engagement. Instead of retreating, it charged. The patrol boat accelerated directly toward the Gravely's starboard beam, range closing rapidly. 4.7 nautical miles, 4.2, 3.9. The bridge officer made the call. Bridge, CIC, hostile contact accelerating, intercept course, recommend engagement. Captain Richardson's reply was instant. Engage with CIWS. The Phalanx close-in weapon system activated with its distinctive high-pitched whine. The 6-barreled 20mm Gatling gun spun up to maximum rate, 4,500 rounds per minute. The radar locked onto the approaching patrol boat with millimeter precision. At 2.1 nautical miles, the CIWS opened fire. The sound was not a rattle, it was a continuous roar. A stream of tungsten rounds cut through the humid air at 3,800 feet per second. The first burst lasted 3 seconds, 400 rounds. They shredded Sierra 125 superstructure completely. The bridge collapsed. The radio mast toppled. The forward gun mount tore loose and tumbled overboard. The patrol boat's momentum carried it forward for another 30 seconds, but the hull was taking water through 200 holes. At 0421, Sierra 125 rolled onto its side and began sinking bow first. Survivors abandoning ship 6, visible. Confirmed dead 14. The ammunition expended by the CIWS cost approximately $22,000. The patrol boat, $16 million in construction and equipment, was now an artificial reef. From first missile launch to total destruction of all 3 Venezuelan vessels, elapsed time was 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Not one round fired by the Venezuelan boat struck the Gravely. Not one American sailor was injured. The destroyer's damage control teams did not even need to deploy. At 0423, the Gravely transmitted a priority flash message to U.S. Southern Command. 3 Venezuelan patrol boats engaged U.S. warship in international waters with anti-ship missiles. All hostile vessels destroyed. 23 survivors recovered. Request immediate diplomatic notification. Captain Richardson made the call that would define the engagement's aftermath. Launch rescue operations, recover all survivors. This was not mercy. This was message sending. You attacked us. We destroyed you. Now we will save you so you can go home and explain what happened. 2 rigid hull inflatable boats launched from the Gravely at 0426. Within 40 minutes, all 23 Venezuelan survivors were aboard the destroyer. Treated for burns, shrapnel wounds, and shock. Guarded by armed sailors, every statement documented, every injury photographed. One sailor pulled a Venezuelan rating from the water. The man's uniform was burned, his face blackened with soot. He looked up at the American corpsman and said nothing. There was nothing to say. By 0600, the Caribbean sun rose over empty water. 3 oil slicks marked where Venezuela's patrol boats had been. The USS Gravely resumed its patrol course unchanged, speed unchanged, mission continuing in Caracas. The Venezuelan Ministry of Defense released a statement at 0730. The patrol boats were conducting routine defensive operations when they were attacked without provocation by a U.S. warship. The ministry demanded an international investigation. The statement was carefully worded to obscure one critical fact. Venezuela had fired first. The Pentagon's response came 2 hours later. No diplomatic softening, just facts backed by radar data. Venezuelan naval vessels fired an anti-ship missile at the U.S. Gravely while operating in international waters. The USS Gravely acted in self-defense under international law. All radar recordings have been preserved. The data showed everything: the missile launch, the intercept, the destruction sequence, frame by frame, second by second. Venezuela had started a fight it could not win and lost it in under 4 minutes. The strategic calculus was merciless. Venezuela's 3 patrol boats combined construction and equipment cost approximately $42 million. Crew training, years of investment, operational capability eliminated. The USS Gravely's expenditure: 2 standard missiles, 3 5-inch rounds, 1 Hellfire missile, and roughly 400 CIWS rounds. Total cost approximately $2.4 million. The cost exchange ratio was 17-1. Intelligence analysis later revealed the attack was not spontaneous. Venezuelan Navy Command had authorized a harassment operation designed to embarrass the United States. The plan called for a single missile fired across the Gravely's bow as a warning shot, a symbolic gesture, a show of defiance. The plan failed. At the most basic level, you cannot fire a warning shot at a warship equipped with Aegis combat systems. The system does not recognize symbolic gestures. It recognizes threats and it eliminates them. By November 10th, every maritime analyst from Miami to Buenos Aires understood the new reality. Venezuela's Navy had tested American resolve and discovered it was absolute. The USS Gravely did not escalate. It responded proportionally, overwhelmingly, and within the rules of engagement. The 3 patrol boats fired first. They missed. The destroyer fired second. It did not miss. The lesson was written in burning fuel slicks and empty life jackets. When you challenge a warship designed to defeat saturation missile attacks from peer adversaries, your fast patrol boats are not a threat. They are target practice, and target practice costs $2.4 million to conduct, while sending a message worth billions, because now every coastal navy from Maracaibo to Tierra del Fuego knows exactly what happens when you cross the line from harassment to hostility. The response will not be negotiated. It will be delivered at Mach 3.5. Venezuela learned this lesson in 3 minutes and 47 seconds. The 23 survivors can explain it to the next crew that considers making the same mistake. And somewhere in a Pentagon briefing room, an analyst probably summarized it best: you cannot sink a destroyer with courage and Chinese export missiles, but you can absolutely sink 3 patrol boats with math, steel, and a crew that practices this scenario every month. Because in the end, asymmetric warfare only works when you are the smaller force with better technology. Venezuela tried being the smaller force with worse technology, worse training, and worse judgment. The Caribbean seabed is now littered with the consequences. If you found this analysis insightful and want more breakdowns of modern naval engagements, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the next battle.